Hey there techies. What if I say, Google launched a product and trying to keep it as a secret? Even in Google I/O event they didn't mention this tool. But this tool is quite awesome, that it is trying to overtake the UI designer's role. With this tool you can generate stunning UIs in just minutes by typing a single line of prompt. You can export the generated UI as a code file or you can directly export the design to Figma. Yes, I'm speaking about Google Stitch, a UI designer that generates entire UIs based on a single prompt. Here, if we scroll down, we can see a bunch of UI designs which are generated by Stitch. You can notice that Stitch excels at generating designs for any application and for any purpose like board game club planner, personal photo library, etc. As the first step, let's sign up. Once you sign up, you will be redirected to this page. The UI looks pretty attractive. Below the prompt box, you can see various pre-made prompts available to test the Stitch. But as of now, I'm going to ask Stitch to develop UI for a habit tracker app. So let's enter the prompt. In the example prompts, you can notice that the details are very concise and we can even ask Stitch to develop UI for a particular place, people or season. But first, let's test the Google Stitch by asking to develop a simple UI. Later, I plan to develop a more specific model to assess its capabilities. But before entering the prompt, I want you to know these details. At the bottom left corner of the prompt box, you can see two options. The first option is to develop UI for a mobile application. The second one is for website designing. As we are developing an app, let's select the first option itself. At the top right corner, we are provided with option to change the mode of the Stitch. Basically, it offers two modes, standard and experimental. The standard mode uses Gemini 2.5 Flash, and the experimental mode uses Gemini 2.5 Pro. Both the models have their own pros and cons. But let's discuss it later. So let's enter the prompt and wait for the response. After hitting enter, within a minute, Stitch finished thinking and made a prototype. Here it has brainstormed the major features a habit tracking app should include. First, it has included a home page where all the habits are displayed with a checkbox. Then it included separate pages for adding and editing habits. Additionally, a habit details page is included, where detailed information about a specific habit, including its history and statistics, are provided. At last, we have settings page where the user's information and preferences are stored. At the end it is asking our permission to continue. But I wanted to include some 2D animations as well. So in the prompt box I am gonna say, also add 2D animations for each habit. I think this is enough, so let's hit enter. Now Stitch is making UI for every page that we had mentioned before. Boom, the designs are ready. The UI looks pretty cool and handy. This is amazing. Think about developing all these manually that take days to be finished. But now within a few minutes we have a stunning UI. As I asked, it included 2D animations for habits. Totally it is 5 pages. If you click on a page it opens up this window. At the right side, all the pages are listed. Here we have two options, code and Figma. If you click on the code option, it displays the code for the page. Mostly it uses HTML and Tailwind CSS. This makes the code easy to implement in our projects. You can copy the code by clicking on this option at the top right corner. Now you can simply paste this code in your project to implement this template. Let's click on the design option to get back to design. Then we have Figma option. If you click on this option, the design will be copied to your clipboard. Now you can open Figma and simply paste the design. As usually you can edit this design as you wish. For example, say you want to change the color, you can do it easily by selecting the frame, go to the right side toolbar, go to fill option and change it. That is, when exported, it works as an editable template. One more notable point is, you can edit the theme within the Stitch itself. To do so, go to the edit theme option in the top right corner. Here you can see various options including theme, colors and fonts. If you click on the dark mode, dark theme will be toggled on every page. Next, you can change the color of the page by selecting any of these colors. Or you can also set custom colors for your page. Also, you can adjust the border radius of the pages. The font option also has some of the cool fonts. But the only issue is we can't upload fonts manually. I think they will introduce it soon. Within a minute, all of the changes are updated and the UI is ready to be implemented. This is really amazing, because it reduces the cost of hiring an UI developer. Or at least we can create a rough overview of our app using this. As of now, we have tested it only for simple use case. Now let's put this tool into a difficult test. So, let's get back to home screen and this time I'm gonna ask it to develop UI for an OTT platform, similar to Amazon Prime or Netflix. The prompt involves all the features an OTT platform should have. I am not sure Stitch can handle this huge project as it is still under beta. But this is going to be the best way to test the Stitch abilities. One more thing is, I'm not going to use the standard mode this time. Instead, let's go with the experimental mode. The experimental mode uses Gemini 2.5 Pro, which is considered to be the best AI coding model, beating Claude 3.7 Sonnet. So let's give it a try. One more notable point is, in the experimental mode, we can add an image for reference. As I said before, this is the advantage of using the experimental mode. But it also has a disadvantage. Let's discuss it later. Using this option, you can add a reference image, and Stitch will try to replicate the design from it. But as I plan to test this tool, I'm not going to add any reference images. I'm going to keep it plain. So let's hit enter and wait for the response. After waiting for a minute, Stitch gave this output. But this is pretty rough. Though it looks like an OTT platform, it didn't include the carousel and it has generated only one page. And that too, some parts of the page is left incomplete. Still, this may be due to the experimental mode we used. As I said before, let's look at the disadvantages of using the experimental mode. In the experimental mode, we can't edit the theme of the page. Yes, we can't even change the colors. The next disadvantage is, when you click on the page at the right side, you can notice that we are provided with only one option. Code, and the Figma option is disabled. That is, in the experimental mode, we can't copy-paste the template from Stitch to Figma. These two are the major disadvantages of the experimental mode. As I want to know which of the mode is better for UI development, I plan to develop the same UI using the standard mode. So let's get back to the home page and switch the mode to standard. Now let's enter the prompt and wait for the response. And this is the result I got. There are no major differences between both the models. The result, produced by the standard mode, also looks pretty rough. But in the standard mode we can edit and export the design to Figma. One more notable point is, instead of starting the design from scratch, this can be a better starting point. In my point of view, I won't say that the results are bad because developing an OTT platform is one of the most difficult things to do. But if you ask Stitch to develop UI for a simple, common application, it will definitely produce great results. For example, I asked Stitch to develop UI for an e-commerce store, and this is the result I got. Look how good it is. The style, elements, color, and widgets looks professional. Even now you can see that I am trying to make an OTT app, but this time instead of asking it to develop only the home screen, I am asking it to develop the entire UI. Wow, amazing, now I found the issue. Back when I asked to develop UI for an OTT platform, I just mentioned the home screen in the prompt. But this time I asked it to develop every pages. And it nailed the response. It means it is good at producing overall designs, but when asked for a particular page it is making some mistakes. But still, this is not a huge issue. I hope they will make it better. Guys, make sure to play with this tool. The link is in the description. You can even use it for your startup development. This tool is going to be a great resource for solopreneurs. I think this tool will make a huge impact in our project development. Comment yes if you like this tool. If you find my works helpful, consider liking and subscribing. See you in the next video.